What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Mugen for Evo tutorial. This one is kind of something I've been doing a lot lately, and I thought if no one else knew how to do this, it would just help you guys out. So this is basically how to add something like this as your win pose, like the full screen. If you have the tools for it, you can obviously remove the background, which I do sometimes I don't. So if you want to know how to do this, I just want to tell you how you import it is up to you. I use like screen picture, like Bandicams kind of stuff. You can capture images, that kind of shit. So, and I'm gonna show you how to where you put it, how you set it correctly if you want to do it. So basically what you're gonna see here is Omni-Man is gonna go up and fly out the screen. As you can see there, let me just zoom in. As you can see, frame 7, and then 8 is where he's going to show up. So let me lower this number here to like 8. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to see the animation here. He flies away. And then once he leaves, you're at 183. Then you have 184. And then to really set these the best way you want to do, as you can see there, right, like where this gray plus is here, right around where like that's 2 over on the left bar from it, usually is a good way to place it. Depending on the size, the image here is 13, I think 89, 60, something like that. So it's fairly large. If you shrink it down, you're going to want to move it anywhere from this second part here to maybe over here or down here. I had to do that with the Fiend. If you noticed, if you watch the test matches versus the full release, that took some time to fix. So I'm gonna cut the video once I see what it looks like in things, so you guys don't have to watch me play a full match or anything with Omni-Man. But what you want to do to set it up is let's go in here and let's go to, you want to find where everything is. So it's animation 183. So find state win 2, win 1 right there. Animation 183, and then the rock carry is 184. So you should have state 183, and you're gonna want to create what's called XBLOD. And I have that as a basic setup if you want to pause the video. The animation element means it's gonna show up, the picture will show up during this time. So you notice how it says anim element, which is animation element, and it says 8, if you can see that. So as I showed you, 183 is the main animation you're using. So he flies away, and then in animation 8, that's when the other one's going to pop up. Now you also want to set the time to be -1 or just very long. The reason why, this animation here is going to repeat constantly if you don't do that, because it's basically in front of an animation behind it. So if you, let's say you leave it at animation 0, which is like the idle stance, and it's like 6 frames that they're just doing up, down, and that doesn't do anything. By the time this is done, because that zero animation doesn't have a negative time to finish it, which is like to keep it stuck. It's gonna repeat itself. That's the problem I had when I was making Terminator, and it took me a while to figure out how to do that. So basically 183 to 184, as you can see here. XBLOD inv color is basically making the background dark. So if your image is not too large, depending where you place it, like you'll see like the background of the matchup still in the background. Like let's say you beat your opponent on like a SF5 training stage and you made the image, but it's not large enough, and you can see part of the stage and the opponent laying there. So inv color basically makes the entire background dark. Put under 1, which is basically the character will appear over the thing instead of underneath it. You want to keep it at 0 for certain things, but I guess you'll figure that out more over time. I could really help more on that later. I've used it for a couple supers where I've had inv color 0, under 0, and then under 1. So, inv shake is basically just when he shakes the ground going up. And then right here you want to set XBLOD to 8 animation. Post type, back is the easiest. You can also use P2 or P1, but those are better for like smaller images. For a larger image, back is just the better way to do it. If you ever put front, it'll like appear too high up. So you want to drag it back down, it'll mess it up. So leave it at back. Super move time, that basically just means you don't want it to go away once the animation is done. The big deal is scale. That's basically how large it's going to be. So 0.38 is a decent size to cover the screen with the animation not looking too large. Let's say you have the pictures for him is like 1380 or something. So let me see. Let me see if I could find it. Right there. So those are 1360, 768. As you can see right there. So what that basically means is that image is huge. So 0.38 might be a little still too big. So you can drop it to 0.30, 0.24. And in some cases, if the image is really tiny, you could do like 0.1, 0.2, something like that. If you ever play those characters, the Marvel 3 characters, like if somebody made a Marvel 3 style Hulk, and when he does the super, like the full background from Marvel 3 appears, that's because the person took time to make an XSplit and put the scale properly. Because the image itself was like 420, 380, something like that. It was pretty small. But if you use the scale right, you can make it fit long enough. Also, depending on what picture source you're using and grabbing it, the smaller the image, the blurrier it's going to be. So if you try to enlarge it, it's going to be bad on the image quality. So this depends on how you get your sources to do it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here, and I'm going to try to get a post win so you can see what it looks like when it's done. That way, if you want to grab it with any of the characters you're using. So yeah, right now I'm working on Predator. So let me see. He's not finished yet, but so like this is one of the images. See it, and it plays out. It's the win post from MKX. Right there. So when he's done, that's what's going to show up on the screen. As you can see the negative time slot on there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it here and join it with Omni-Man's victory, or even his, just so you can see what it looks like. So I'll be right back. All right, let's take a look. There you go. I got lucky on the first try, but that's what it's going to look like. And you can see some of the darkness in the bottom there, which means it's not all the, like some towards the bottom of the TV is probably the image is not spanned all the way, but it's a minor thing. But yeah, that's pretty much what you do if you want to take supers. You obviously, if you want to cut the background out, you can do that too. Sometimes I like to include it, just makes it look more legit, but sometimes you can mix it up and make your own backgrounds, which I've done before. Sometimes I'll take an image and like have Predator do this in like the jungle instead of the spaceship, but it takes time to really swap the image backgrounds. But yeah, so pretty much that's how you do it if you want to create cool. You can do it with intros too, but it's a little bit different because with intros, you have to take the -1 numbers and all that stuff out because it actually has to end, and you want to set the numbers good because if you don't, if you make your intro too long, the opponent can start moving around before it's done and you'll get hit or something. So you don't really want to be doing that. Actually, I think I have an example with Predator I might show you because I know I already did his too. So let me see if I can show you his. All right, sorry about that. There's intro. All right, so you can see right here, I got his basic one set. Now, right there. So you're gonna see here, when he clicks, you notice this animation here is invisible for 35 frames. And then he appears standing there. So for 35 frames, you want to insert an image here. And that's where we have 192. Which is the cloaking image. So what you want to do, like I was showing there, is you want to take 190 and it's going to be animation 12. So let's look Intro 190, as you can see right there. 190. Animation 12, go that's the invisible frame. 192 is our animation. We want to make sure. Yep. And then right here, as you can see, scale is 43. Super move time is 120. Basically means it's going to be on the screen for no longer than 120 ticks, and then it's going to disappear. Any longer than that, you're going to overlap your image. I mean, you're going to overlap the image on the screen time, and your opponent can start jumping around or moving around or whatever. So that the intro takes a little bit more time than the outro does, because the outro, the opponent's already defeated. With this one, you want to time everything right and make sure your stance is this one here. I put it at 110 frames, so in case the image overlaps, it goes into this one, and the image has more time to cool down while I'm still standing there. Let's say this was at 6 frames. The image could the intro could repeat itself, blah blah blah. It's a lot of hazards you don't want, so that's pretty much where that is, and I'll see if I can get him to do the intro for you guys real quick, so just so you can see what that looks like. Yep, there you go. All right, now that's gonna be my how to make an image for intros or outros. I got the idea from this from a Superman that I had forever ago, one of my Mugen videos, where it was the Supermans like that you see now, the basic Mugen looking Supermans. And somebody, I forgot which one it was, made an outro with Superman where he does the Injustice 2 lift up and slam punch, which is like his win pose. Somebody had that, and that's where I was like, oh, you can do that. And I didn't really know how to do it. And then eventually I started to mess around with images for intros and outros. Sometimes I use that kind of stuff for supers, fatalities, that kind of stuff, like you saw with T1000. So it takes a lot to learn, but when you really get it down, you can really create some cool intros and outro images with whatever you want. So I grabbed the source material to make it more legit for the characters I make, but sometimes people like to get real creative. Never know what you can come up with. So, yep, sorry to make the video kind of long. I just wanted to make it in detail so everybody knows how they can do it. If you have a cool character idea and you want to like make a cool background image or something for something from a movie you like or a show, you know how to capture the source. That's pretty much how you set it up. All right, there you go. This is Mugen for Evo with another Mugen tutorial. I'll see you guys in the next one.